Hello everyone, welcome to Sir CRR COE Online Education. In the last class, we have seen the basic concepts of electrical system and the facts related to installed capacities and their comparison between India and Andhra Pradesh. So in this class, we will see what are the components are there in your power system operation and control. So today we are going to start your actual contents which are present in this subject, that is power system operation and control. So mainly we can divide this subject into two parts. That is, first one is operation and the second one is control. So totally in this subject we are having 6 units are there. Those 6 units also we can divide into two groups. The first 3 units comes under operation and the remaining 3 units comes under control. So coming to the first 3 units, the objective is how to minimize the generation cost. So once we are able to minimize the generation cost, it will reflect in the load side or demand side also. To meet this requirement, how we can operate a thermal plants or along with hydro plants, that we are going to learn in this first 3 units. And coming to the second part, that is controlling. Already we have discussed in the last class, in the power system we have two groups are there. That is nothing but real power versus a frequency and the reactive power versus voltage. So in the second part, that means in controlling, we are going to learn how we are capable to maintaining a frequency within the limits, similarly voltage within the limits. And coming to the fourth unit and fifth unit, those two units are related to frequency control one, at the same time frequency control 2. And coming to the last unit, by controlling of your reactive power, we can control your voltage profile. So that means this is the brief idea about your power system operation and control. And coming to the syllabus of this subject. So this subject is having totally 6 units. Already, as I told you, the first 3 units comes under operation point of view, and the second 3 units comes under controlling point of view. And these are the prescribed textbooks and the reference books according to your university curriculum. But I cannot say which one is best because it's your responsibility to read and select the textbook. So let's start the first unit. Already I told you that the main objective of the first 3 units is how to minimize the cost of generation. Now in this unit, we deal with only thermal plants or thermal units, but for easy understanding, I'm taking one simple example. So whatever the figure is present in this slide, I'm taking that simple example. So in this one, we have generation is there, transmission is there, similarly distribution is also there. At the end, we have consumers are there. So in between generation and transmission, one feeder is there. Similarly, in between transmission and distribution, one more feeder is also there. So simply we can say those lines as transmission lines. For example, let us consider case 1. In the case 1, let us assume only thermal power plant. Means we are operating only thermal power plant. And let us assume by using only thermal power plant, we are going to generate 100 units. So out of that 100 units, let us assume 5 units comes as power loss in this feeder, which is present in between generator and transmission. And the remaining is nothing but 95 units is present in the transmission side at this end. And from the 95 units, again, let us assume 10 units as power loss in between transmission and distribution. Because as we move from generation to distribution, the power loss is increases. So that's why I'm considering here only 5 units in between generation and transmission, but whereas I'm considering 10 units in between transmission and distribution. So after that, at the end, we have only 8 units. So this is nothing but the distribution of the power from the generation side to consumers. But coming to the most important point is economical point of view. Let us assume we are spending 2.5 rupees per unit at generation side. So once you are spending 2.5 rupees per unit at the generation side means, if you want to transfer the same power to the consumers, we need to add the cost which is required for the power loss at the same time transmission cost. We need to add these two costs along with your generation cost. Then we can say here 3.5 rupees per unit at transmission side. Similarly, for this one, we need to add the cost which is required for power loss. Similarly, the cost which is required for again transmission. So once you add these two to our 3.5 rupees per unit, then we can assume 4.5 rupees per unit. Means what we need to observe here it is, we are generating each unit by spending only 2.5 rupees per unit, but we are capable to deliver the power to the consumers at a cost of 4.5 rupees per unit. But once you see this cost seems to be very high. So that's why our target is we need to minimize the cost. How we can minimize the cost means, let us consider your case 2. So we are including here idle at the same time nuclear to your already existing thermal power plant, so that we can reduce the cost of the total generation cost. So why it is means, when compared to the thermal, the fuel cost for idle and nuclear is very cheap. So that's why once you are adding here idle and nuclear along with your thermal, we are capable to deliver, or we are capable to generate the units at lower cost. Let us assume here 2 rupees per unit. So once you are decreasing the generation cost, then automatically you can decrease the delivery cost also. Once you compare these two, in the first case, we are going to deliver at a cost of 4.5 rupees per unit. In the case 2, we are going to deliver 4 rupees per unit. Means there is a reduction in the cost at the end of customers. So from this, what we can observe is, we need to decrease the generation cost so that automatically at the load side or the demand side, we can supply the power at cheaper cost. But here the point here it is, what are the steps are there for reducing the cost at load side? These are nothing but mainly 4 points are there. Those are nothing but voltage profile is good, power factor of the system must be high, good transmission and distribution system is available, and the last point here it is, all the thermal plants and thermal units of a plant are operating optimally. So when compared to last point, for the first 3 points requires extra expenditure. If you want to maintain voltage profile, similarly if you want to maintain your power factor at high, similarly if you want to maintain good transmission distribution, we need to spend extra amount. But coming to the last point, here we don't require any extra cost. But the thing is, how we can operate the different units optimally. That procedure is called as economic load dispatch. The term is called as economically load dispatch. So basically in this one, 2 types are there. Those are nothing but unit commitment or preload dispatch, and this term is also called as planning offline. And the second one is online load dispatch. So we have only 2 types of economic load dispatch. So what is the meaning of dispatch? Dispatch is nothing but sending power to the consumer. That's it. So we are sending a load to the customers. So that's why the term is called as load dispatch. How we can dispatch the power at cheaper rate? So that's why we are calling this term as economical load dispatch. So this is having 2 types. First one is unit commitment and the second one is online load dispatch. So how we can understand the meaning of the above 2 definitions by taking a simple example. Here I am taking only simple example. Once you understand the coming example, easily you can understand what is the difference between unit commitment and online load dispatch. So everybody is familiar with cricket. Even though our national sport is hockey, we are very much familiar with cricket. So that's why I'm taking the same example. So probably in the left side, we're having 15 members probables are there. But our requirement is only 11 members in the final team. So along with the 11 members, 1 substitute will be there. Already we know what is the purpose of 1 substitute. So in our electrical system also, this substitute is called as reserved capacity. So this substitute is called as reserved capacity, whereas in this example, I'm calling this one as substitute. So here, what is the point I'm going to tell you here is, these 15 members are nothing but available persons. Out of these 15 members, available 15 members, we need to select only 11 members and one substitute. Okay, try to understand the concept. Here we are selecting only 11 members from the 15 members. Depends upon the some preconditions. Means before starting of a match, we need to select these 11 members from the 15 members. So that's why we are saying this one is called as offline selection. So this is not a selection which happens during the match. This is nothing but before starting of match. So that's why this process is called as offline selection. And this example is resembles to your first one. That is nothing but unit commitment. Unit commitment means how many units you are selecting from the available units. Here also same thing. Total available persons are nothing but 15 members are there. Out of these 15 members, how many members we are selecting and what are those persons from the 15 members. This process is called as offline selection. So that's why this one is nothing but unit commitment or preload dispatch. And coming to the second one, for example, once match is started, so already we have 11 members and one substitute. So final members which are present in your team is only 11 members now. So already match is started. Now, how the captain is allocating duties to the existing members. For example, let's consider Dhoni is a captain and the remaining is nothing but generalized members. Then he has the decision, he has the right to allocate the different duties to the existing members. So for example, let's consider Sachin is there, Sehwag is there. These two persons are very good at opening the match. For example, they open the match. So depends upon the partnership which is made by them. Then captain will choose who is at third position. Third position means one down. Similarly, who is at fourth position? Who is at fourth position means whether he has to send a Gambhir or whether he is to send one more person at the third or fourth. That is depends upon that instantaneous match conditions. So depends upon that instantaneous match condition, he will take the decision. So this is not a before match. And he has to take the decisions during the match. So that's why this process is called as online dispatch. This is nothing but online dispatch. So are you understanding this example? So this is nothing but a generalized example. Let us move to our technical example. So now, how you can define unit commitment or online dispatch in electrical terminology is, for example, first we will consider unit commitment. Select the required number of generating units from the available healthy units in order to meet the demand of the system over a specified period along with the certain reserve capacity. Just remember your previous example. Healthy units is nothing but 15 members are there. So out of that 15 members, we are taking only 11 members plus one extra player. Similarly, here also same thing. Select the required number of generating units from the available healthy units along with the certain reserve capacity. That is nothing but the definition of your unit commitment. And coming to the online load dispatch, how we can define your second one, online load dispatch is allocating the existing load among the optimally selected units in such a way that the total fuel cost of the system is minimized from time to time. So already we have selected some number of units. So, but the thing is, second one is how we are allocating existing load to the existing units in order to minimize the fuel cost. That is nothing but your online load dispatch. So this is nothing but the definitions of your unit commitment and online load dispatch. And let us try to understand the same two definitions by taking a technical example. Let us consider a total demand requirement is 1400 megawatts. And let us consider a reservoir capacity is 10% of 1400 megawatts. So totally our demand requirement is 1540 megawatts. But the thing is, at a cheaper level, how can meet this load requirement? Let us consider here two plants are there. One is hydel power plant and the second one is thermal power plant. And the hydel power plant is having 4 units. Each unit is considering of 100 units capacity. So totally 400 megawatts. And coming to the thermal power plant, here I'm considering here 8 units. Each unit is having 200 megawatts capacity. So total is 1600 megawatts. Let us assume out of these 8 units, 1 unit is sick. So generally that unit is called as cold reserve unit because that is not in operating condition. So on the remaining units are nothing but only 7. So 7 into 200, that is nothing but 1400 megawatts. So here we are having 400 megawatts. Here we are having 1400 megawatts. But here our load requirement is only 1540 megawatts. But the thing is, how to minimize the fuel cost in order to meet this load requirement by operating these two power plants. So generally, here we can operate all the 4 units. The reason here it is, already we have discussed in the previous slides, that is, when compared to the thermal, the fuel cost of your hydel power plant is very, very less. We can say almost negligible. So that's why we can use all the units which are present in your hydel plant. So that's why we can use 4 into 100, that is nothing but 400 megawatts here. So out of that 1540 megawatts, already 400 megawatts, we are getting 400 megawatts from the hydel power plant. And the remaining, whatever the power is there, that power we can get from the thermal power plant. So unit commitment means here we are using 4 units as a unit commitment. And similarly, here, whatever the other than 400 megawatts is there, that is 1140 megawatts. How we can get 1140 megawatts by using these 7 units? That is nothing but our unit commitment means out of the available units, here 4 units are available, even 7 units are available. So total units are nothing but 11 units are available. But the thing is, out of 11 units, how many units we are using? For how many units we are giving the job for generating the power? That is nothing but our unit commitment. So this is nothing but our first definition. Easily you can understand by understanding this simple example. And coming to the next one is online load dispatch. And let us consider this online load dispatch. Here I'm considering load cycle having different ranges, that is 0 to 3 hours, 3 to 6 hours, 6 to 9 hours, similarly 9 to 12 hours. And this is nothing but our corresponding load demand for all the 4 different intervals. This is 800, 1200, 1400, 1600. But the thing is, we have 2 power plants are there. How we can operate these 2 power plants in order to meet your demand? That is important. So already we have discussed in the previous slide, that is, we have to use hydel power plant. The reason here it is, fuel cost is very, very less. So that's why we are using all the 4 units. So that's why we can get 400 megawatts from the hydel power plant. So, but our demand is 800 megawatts. So once 400 megawatts we are getting from the hydel power plant, the remaining is nothing but only 400 megawatts. So this 400 megawatts we can get from the thermal power plant. Similarly, second case is, here always we can get 400 megawatts from the hydel and the remaining is nothing but 800 megawatts. So that is produced by the thermal power plant. Similarly, you can understand third one, and similarly you can understand fourth one also. Because in the hydel we are having only 4 units. Maximum we are operating our hydel power plant. That is 4 into 100. That means 400 megawatts. We are always operating our hydel power plant. It is always giving 400 megawatts. Whatever the remaining demand is there, this is going to operate your thermal power plant so that we can reduce the fuel cost. So once you operate like this, easily you can minimize the fuel cost. So in all the 4 cases, easily we can minimize the fuel cost. But here I'm taking only 4 different intervals of time, but practically they are taking for every 15 minutes. Every 15 minutes means hourly for 24 into 4 times. So totally 96 times they are taking the low demand. So here fuel cost is minimized once you operate like this. But the thing is, this fuel cost is not only depends upon some factors, it depends upon some certain factors. Let's see those factors. So, so how can express your cost is equals to fixed cost plus running cost? And fixed cost is nothing but it is always fixed irrespective of the load. And the running cost is nothing but it always varies, depends upon the load. Already we have learned these two topics, fixed cost and running cost, in the previous semesters. So how you can calculate total cost is fixed cost plus running cost divided by number of units in a year. But how you can calculate your fixed cost is total fixed cost divided by life of plant. Similarly, practically running cost is generally 3 to 4 times of fixed cost. So by using these two, we can calculate your total cost per unit per annum. So for example, let us consider, we will do some basic problem. Here I'm providing two tables. Your first table is giving the information of the life of plant for different power plants, gas plant, thermal power plant, and nuclear and idle. And the second one is nothing but the cost requirement for the power generation. For example, especially in the thermal power plant. So once if you want to generate 1 megawatt, then you require 7 crores. Once you want to generate 100 megawatts by using the thermal power plant, that is 700 crores. Your requirement is 700 crores. Similarly, 500 megawatts, our requirement is 3,500 megawatts. So by using these two tables, we can calculate, we will do some basic problem, that is find out total cost per annum for 100 megawatt coal plant if number of units are 600 million units in a year. So how you can calculate total cost? So in order to calculate your total cost, we have to find out fixed cost at the same time running cost. So how you can calculate the fixed cost? So fixed cost is nothing but total fixed cost divided by life of plant. So how you can calculate the life of plant? So here already I am providing the life of plant is nothing but for thermal 20 years. How you can calculate the total cost? Here they are asking 100 megawatts. So 100 for 100 megawatts, our budget is 700 crores. So that's why 700 crores divided by life of plant, then you will get the fixed cost. But how you can calculate the running cost? So already I have presented some note in the previous slide, that is 3 to 4 times of your fixed cost. So automatically once you calculate the total cost, just divide with 600 million units. Then you will get total cost per annum for generating the 100 megawatts. Okay, for capacity of 100 marks for generating the 600 million units in a year. So this is the topic for today class. And thank you very much. Stay home and be safe. And my request is make use of online classes.